Start with the prayers. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We continue our study of Taittriya Shankara Bashyam, the second chapter, eighth Anuvaka. All Upanishads have the same goal. They help us to realize my intrinsic nature. In this Upanishad, the methodology which is followed is the Upanishad takes five personalities which we all know. The physical personality, the pranic personality, the mental personality, intellectual personality, and the happiness personality. I am sometimes happy, sometimes sad. That is also my personality. So these are the five levels of our personality. Now, these five levels are all experienceable. We all are aware of this. There is a sixth personality, which is called as the spiritual personality. The Upanishad's focus is on the spiritual personality. All the Upanishads want us, the seekers, to realize the truth about our spiritual personality. So one has to travel from the gross to the subtle to the causal. And then ask the question, is there something which is beyond the causal level? What are the three bodies which we have? Gross body, which we experience in the waking state. Subtle body, which we experience in the dream state. Clearly, subtle body is there even now. But then when it is experienced clearly in the dream state, because everything in the dream is the mind. The causal body is a difficult subject. Unless you come to Vedanta, you will not know what is the causal. The causal body is our body where we rest during sleep. When we rest and sleep, we have a joy. That joy, according to Vedanta, is a reflected joy. This is one part of the sleep nature. The second nature of sleep is I realize that I don't experience anything in the universe. So there is an experience of nothingness in sleep. So now the Upanishad is asking the five personalities, the five koshas, is it the truth? The three bodies which we experience, is it the truth? Or is there something which exists but which I don't know? Taittriya Upanishad goes through the five koshas in the first five anuvakas 6, 7, and 8 are questions and answers which are related to what lies beyond the five koshas. So we are in the 8th section. We are analyzing what is there beyond the five koshas. The subject matter for these classes, which are going on now, it will be like this for the next 5, 6 classes. These are the final stages of understanding Vedanta. So a lot of reasoning is involved, logic is involved. Tarka Shastra is pradhanam in these talks. So what you have to do is just listen and flow, let your mind go through whatever is being discussed. Because we are discussing Shankaracharya's commentary on the 8th Anuvaka. Very, very long commentary. I'm still going through the commentary because I think it is important. If you're doing Bhashyam, this portion is very, very important. Not only it will clarify the ultimate truth, but it will also help you when you study the other Upanishads. Normally, in a Moola class where we just do the meaning of the verses, we don't go into this depth. This is a Bhashyam class. So there will be deep questions, deep inquiries, and deep knowledge which gets built up. Our intellect requires reason to understand our real nature. And Upanishad says you have to only go deep within yourself, which means you have to go beyond the level of intellect. With this background, let me enter where we stopped last week. Last week, we stopped in this slide, and I said we will continue from here. So this portion is going to run into several pages, several slides. 100, 200 slides are there in this section. I will still try to cover, and you're always free to ask questions at the end of the talk. But remember, what we are doing is the ultimate teaching of Upanishad. It is abstract, but if you follow Shankaracharya's Bhashyam, you will be able to get to the meaning of Atma. Okay. In this commentary, which you see before you, the question whether Brahman exists or not is the question which was asked before, and the answer has been given till now. There are 3 questions asked. Number 1, is Brahman an existing thing? Brahman means what? My real nature. Does it exist? The same question was asked by Nachiketa to his guru Yamadharmaraja in Kathopanishad. When the body dies, some say that something exists after the body dies. Some people say there is nothing exists. So tell me the answer. He asked his guru. It is the same subject matter we are discussing here. It is the same subject matter in Mandukya Upanishad. After you have gone through the 3 bodies, the causal body, is there anything? And if it is there, how do I try to understand that? You see, this is the most difficult portion of any Upanishad. You take Aitareya Upanishad, you take Keno Upanishad. The end portion of the Upanishad is the most difficult, and Shankaracharya writes commentary after commentary only to make us dig further and further. You will see it in this. You see, from now on, the commentary is at a deeper level. So, Brahman is our nature, which is pure existence, pure consciousness. This cannot be seen by the sense organs, it cannot be known by the mind, it cannot be inferred by the intellect. But still, it exists. What is the proof? The proof is only Veda. So we have to accept that I don't know my nature today. Through the Veda, I will try to reach that nature. So first thing what you have to understand is you have to accept that there is a nature of mind which exists, which is called as Brahman. Okay. If you have understood that, then the next question, then the next logic or next teaching which the Upanishad gives us is, Upanishad says that Brahman, the pure nature of mind, is the cause of not only the effect which is born out of that cause. What is the effect? The effect is all the three states of our experiences. Try to understand this clearly. Brahman is a word I'm using for something which my sense organs cannot know by itself. It is something which is taught to me by the Veda. I accept its existence, and I also understand from the Upanishad it is the cause for the whole universe. The whole universe is karyam. It is a product. Like pot is a product. What is the cause? Clay. Bangle, ring, chain is a product. What is the cause? Gold. Similarly, world is a product. What is the cause? Brahman. If Brahman is the cause and the world is an effect, when I analyze the world, I see the world is inert. Inert means the world doesn't have sentiency, awareness. Table is inert. Stone is inert. Mountain is inert. River is inert. Anything you take in the universe is inert. But when you come to the body, when you come to the physical body, there is a mixture of inertness and awareness. The job of the Upanishad is to separate the inert material and reveal to us the spiritual content in the body. If somebody knows this awareness, consciousness in this body, he becomes free from fear. He has no fear because he is no longer identified with his body or mind. When I'm identified with the body or mind, I have fear. So Brahman is the pratishtha, adhishtanam, for freedom from fear. Suppose I don't know this nature of awareness, spiritual nature content in this body, I will have fear. That is what the Upanishad reveals. These are all subtle points, but we have to grasp this to understand the nature of Brahman. So here Shankaracharya says that Brahman is the cause of space. From space, Vayu is generated. From Vayu, Agni is generated. From Agni, Apaha, water. From Apaha, earth. From the earth comes all the plants. From the plants comes the food. In the food, there is a rasaha. When that food is eaten by the parents, then the child gets born. Again, the nature continues. This is how the world is. But in and through this entire inert world, there is the spiritual content which is called as Brahman. So one question about Brahman has been cleared so far. That is what Shankaracharya says in this paragraph. So the Ananda Mimamsa portion, you remember last 2 weeks, we discussed 11 lokas, 11 fields of enjoyment for a jiva. Swargaloka, Brahmaloka, Pitruloka, Devaloka, Hiranyagarbhaloka, all these different lokas were discussed, and we said that the enjoyment in each of these lokas depends on the body which we get. Each loka has, in every loka, the body doesn't remain the same. It becomes subtler and subtler. So that portion is over. Now we are entering into a new portion which is called as Upasankramanam. Upasankramanam means merger. The jiva in this body, by knowing that he is consciousness, merges with that consciousness and realizes that he was always this consciousness. He mistook himself to be a jiva whenever he was identifying with his gross body, subtle body, or causal. Try to understand this. Very important point which I am trying to reveal. This is where the ultimate, you see, these are the final stages of a seeker. After the Upanishad, through reasoning, says that you're not the physical personality, you're not the subtle body, you're not the causal body. Now the Upanishad is trying to reveal to me, I am Brahman. I am the spiritual content in this body. So again, Shankaracharya reminds us the three questions which were asked in the sixth Anuvaka. Seventh Anuvaka, eighth Anuvaka, ninth Anuvaka, all these are all answers to the question which was raised by the seeker when the Upanishad said, beyond the five koshas, which was discussed up to the fifth kosha, up to the fifth Anuvaka, fifth section. In the sixth section, the question was asked by the student, you say beyond this five kosha is Brahman. Then the questions were raised, does this Brahman exist or not? First question. Try to remember these three questions. In the next few sessions, about 4 or 5 sessions, is only we are going to discuss about these three questions and answers. So you must remember the question so that when we do the section, we will understand the answers. Number one question is, does Brahman exist? Is there a higher nature for me or not? In simple words, that is not explicitly given, but indirectly through some inference, answer was given. We will see how the answer was given also. In short, we will revise those portion which was there before. Second question is, will an ignorant person merge in this consciousness after death? See, all of us die at different times. So what happens to the jiva, the soul which is there inside? What really happens to that soul? Is the second question. Suppose I don't come to learn Upanishads, what happens to me is the question. The third question is very, very beautiful question. Suppose I realize I have studied Taittiriya Upanishad, I have studied up to the sixth, seventh Anuvaka. What happens to me? I'm a jnani. Because now I know I am not the five koshas, I say, okay, I am Brahman. What happens to me after death? Hmm. The answer to this is all very, very, very high level thinking of the Upanishads. And we have to accept what the Upanishad says is the truth in all the three questions because there is no pramanam, any other pramanam to answer these questions. Especially death is some question is what happens during death, after death. This question is only answered by the Veda. That is why people come rushing to study the Upanishads. They want to know because they have seen life. Life is just joy and sorrow. That's all. The end result of our life is only two things. You go through it and you will come to the answer at any age. You may be 70 years old, you may be 80 years old, you may be 20 years old, 25 years old. There are many, many students who are listening to this talk. Some are 24 years old. They also realize that there is only, ultimately, it's only joy or sorrow. I feel happy in life or I feel sad in life. The means may be different. I may have money, have money. I may have a house, I may not have a house. I may have a spouse, I may not have a spouse. I may have children, I may not have children. The possessions may be different, but ultimately it is the ahamkara, the I which is there in this body, comes to realize there is only two things. Is there anything beyond this joy and sorrow? Is the same question Arjuna asked Lord Krishna in the second chapter. I am full of shokha and moha. Bhagavad Gita, I'm digressing a little bit, but I want to explain to you so that you can see the connection. In Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, Arjuna was struck by shokha and moha. First, you had moha. Moha means delusion. What is this war about? Why am I fighting this war? All my relatives are going to be killed in this war. Is there any purpose behind this battle? Dharma. I'm very confused. Second chapter. And then he says to Lord Krishna, Shishyasteyam Shadiyam. I am your Sishya, O Lord Krishna. Tell me clearly, whether I should fight in the war or run away and take sannyas. See, when such a question is asked to anybody, by anybody, the guru always has a very difficult situation. He wants to convey the teaching of the Shastra, but how he conveys it and what is the methodology which he follows is a very big process. Has a different process of revealing Atma. Each Upanishad has a methodology. You take Kena Upanishad, you take Mundak Upanishad, you take Kathopanishad, any Upanishad. The final result is the same. Everybody reveals only Brahman. And in back to our question here, the 7 logical reasons were given. I'm going to revise that portion again because it is a very important section, very important portion. It dwells on the nature of consciousness. Brahmanasti nasti iti anupravesha vyakyataha. That means there exists an indweller consciousness and an indweller jiva in this body. Two things. I'm separating the jiva, which is attached to the body, and I am also saying there is another entity which is called as consciousness or Brahman. You can just for the purpose of teaching, but when you go to the through the analysis, slowly you will understand a different meaning. The clues which were revealed so far, you see, these are all revision. Why I'm doing revision? Because it's important. This is Bhashyam class. It is a very, very deep class. You need to remember what was taught before we enter into a new topic which is going to come now after some time. Karya Prapanya reveals Karana Prapancha. When I look at a product, I can infer the cause. When I say, when in the Upanishad, it says, I shall become many. Lord is saying, I shall become many. I shall be born as many. He created after he took this sankalpa. Lord created this universe after he said, okay, I want to become many. This is how creation is explained in Taittriya Upanishad. Then the Lord became the manifest world, the unmanifest world, and he entered the universe as Paramatma and Jiva. Jivatma means that Lord, which is Brahman, is the small individual body. Paramatma means the same Brahman entered the gross universe, Prapancha, as the Paramatma. Paramatma means what? It is bigger Atma, bigger in size. Very simple. I'm trying to explain to you very simply so that you can start getting into the clues how the Upanishad reveals the existence of Rasalabha. This is one clue. First one is over. Karanam must be there. That Karanam must be there in the Karyam. That Karanam, gold must be there in the ring and the bangle. Consciousness existence is there in the Brahman, which is the pure cause. That must be existence in the world. That is why we say the tree exists, the stone exists, the wall exists. All whatever we experience, we say it all exists. But we don't know that existence is not a part of the world. It is something independent entity. Rasalabha is quite easy because whatever we do, according to Upanishad, we do out of joy only. We breathe out of joy. We act out of joy. Therefore, Brahman, which is in the nature of joy, is available in the universe. An inference, a reason is also given. A jnani who doesn't have any vishayas, for example, sannyasis, they have nothing in their life. There's no bank account. They don't have anything. But still, if you ask them, are they happy? They say, I'm very happy. So without possessions, they are happy. Without external world of Vishayas, they are happy. When we look at those people, what should we learn from them? I can also be happy without the Vishayas. Happiness comes from inside, it is not coming from outside. That was what we learned in the Ananda Mimamsa. Just for recollection. Then the third clue which was given in this Upanishads in the previous section is that prana. This prana in this body, how does it flow? The same question was asked in Kena Upanishad, which we just completed before this coming to Taittriya Upanishad. Kene shitam patati pranaha. How does the prana work in this body? Who is the controller? I don't seem to be controlling this prana in this body. But who controls it? It is this Brahman. That Lord, which is Paramatma, which is the entire controller of the universe, controls the prana in this body. That is another clue. Then the next clue which was given is there is fear and fearlessness. The cause of fear and fearlessness is the same Brahman. If I know Brahman is my nature, I will have no fear. Very clearly, if you know your real nature, you will not have fear. This is a promise given by Upanishad. So those people who are interested to get rid of fear of death, fear of anything in life, come to study Upanishads, regularly listen to the Upanishads, your fear will go away. The has got a methodology. And during the classes, we are following that methodology of learning our nature. Are people who don't know that their nature is pure consciousness, pure existence, they will have fear. So security is not from the world, but security lies in knowing my own nature. This is a very big secret in the Upanishads. People think that by having money or, I will have security in life. Yes, to a certain extent, it is true. But the Upanishad has got a different vision about security, permanent security. You may have security from money and say, okay, it is only a part. What about my body? Do I have security about my body? No, money cannot guarantee. My joy and sorrow, can money dictate all about my happiness? No, it cannot. To a certain extent only. So the security which I am seeking in life, it is a inborn search for all of us. And it is this Brahman, this consciousness, knowing which I will have complete security in life. All those people who study the Upanishads, this is a test. Is my fear gone? Is it going? Slowly is my fear in life going? It is not something it will go away immediately on a particular day when you attend a session. No, because it is the knowledge of the inner consciousness which makes the fear, which destroys the fear in my mind. So, when I get rid of this fear, how do I get rid of it? Because you know that our nature, my nature is in, it is not visible. My real nature is not visible. Eyes cannot see it because it's incorporeal, means it is bodiless. It is inexplicable. I can't describe that intrinsic nature. I can only say Satyam Jnanam Brahman is my inner nature. But what is exactly that? Words cannot say. And the last thing it says is in this mantra, which we have all covered. I'm just doing revision. There is no support for this ultimate Brahman. See, body is supported by a house. The house is supported by space. Who supports the space? There must be something. My body is in space. But space is also not, it is supported by something. And that is the cause of space, which is again Brahman. The same Brahman, which is the source of fear, is also the source of fearlessness. Bhayadarshina, we have covered this. Because of these reasons, we say there exists something which I can't see, but it exists. My fear goes away. Suppose my fear goes away. How does it go away? Because I know who I am. We have covered in the seventh section this mantra, which is there. Udaramantaram kurute. How does the fear go away? Is because I have known Atmaye Nirukte Nilayane Bhayam Pratishtam Vindate. This is what I've been explaining to you in the last 5 minutes. That the seeker who realizes his nature as invisible, bodiless, unsupported, he crosses fear. Another nature of this pure consciousness existence is Advaitam. It alone is. This portion of Advaitam, not easy to understand, but if you keep on thinking about that nature of ours, which is pure consciousness, it becomes clear. There is a third chapter in Mandukya Upanishad, which is specializing in this word Advaita. When you do that third chapter, you will have 100% clarity. What is my nature? You see, these are all the very, very important portions. We are all talking about our own nature, but unfortunately, that nature is something which cannot be easily described as an object. If it is an object, it's very easy. It has got this color, it has got these features, I can say it. Another fact which Upanishads bring out and to explain this Advaitam is what they say is Dvaitam is Bhaya Karanam. Dvaitam means what? The waking state and the dream state. Dvaitam means the world of plurality. I am the subject. There is an objective world which I am experiencing. All of us. All of us, we have this experience. I am there. The waking world is there. Every day for all of us. So many years have gone like that only. Similarly, in the dream also, I am there. There's another dream world. But what happens in sleep? See, try to understand our experience. In your own mind, bring the waking and the dream experiences and put it aside. Waking and dream is Dvaitam. Now bring sleep experience in your mind. When you get the sleep experience, what happens? I come to know I am there, but there is no world. All of you must realize these three states in your own mind. Whether you do it today in the class, whether you do it at any time on your own in meditation, try to understand two words in Vedanta. Dvaitam, Advaitam. Dvaitam, Advaitam. Dvaitam means fear. Advaitam means fearlessness. Try to understand these four things. Dvaitam, fear. Advaitam, fearlessness. Try to realize this in your own mind. It is not easy. It is not difficult. Your mind should get tuned to this type of thinking. This is how Upanishad transform a ajnani into a jnani. This is the process. Anvaya Vyatireka Nyaya. Yatra yatra dvaitam, tatra tatra bhayam bhavati. Wherever there is dvaitam, there is fear. Yatra yatra advaitam, this is the nyaya, this is the tarka, this is the statement of logic. Yatra yatra advaitam, wherever you see non-duality, like in our sleep state, tatra abhayam bhavati. Why there is no fear? Because there is no second thing. I alone am is the experience in for all of us in deep sleep, but we have not ever given it a thought. Unless you come to Vedanta, you will never ask such questions about your sleep. Nobody on a normal level talk about Dvaitam, Advaitam, fear, fearlessness. No. Normal people will not talk about in this language. This is Vedantic language. You come to the Vedanta class, you will start understanding the logic, understanding the reason. And only through reason, your intellect will ultimately cross buddhi. Reasoning helps me to cross over my own intellect and understand there is a spiritual light which is illumining my intellect. All this is only to go beyond the intellect to understand that spiritual light and say that spiritual light is my real nature. Don't miss the final conclusion. Final conclusion is not that I'm the thought, I'm the thoughtless, I'm the fearlessness. No. Those are all the means. The end is what? I am of the nature of pure consciousness. Brahman exists as the cause of Akasha, which is explained in the first and the second mantra, which I quoted before. Tasmad vaye tasmad atmanaha akasha sambhuta. From Atma only, which is the Karanam, the Karya is the expression of Atma. The whole world is an expression of Atma. Ring, bangle, chain is an expression of gold. Jiva is an expression of Brahman. Paramatma is the expression of Brahman. That is how I have to understand Veda. So my mind should travel like this. Only if you travel in this way, Shankaracharya says in his Bashyam, then only you get moksha. Moksha is freedom from sorrow. There is no other way to get freedom from sorrow. Only by Atma Jnanam, Brahma Jnanam, taught in this way. Through Shankaracharya's Bhashyam, when we learn the Upanishadic mantras, then my intellect gets the reasoning power. And then it can stand on that pure consciousness. Without reason, you may understand that Brahman or intrinsic consciousness, but it cannot stand. You cannot hold that very firmly. But with reason, you can say Akasha and the world comes from Brahman. Therefore, for this world which I see, which is an effect, there is a cause which I cannot see. For example, suppose you say, do you know there was a great, great, great grandfather all of you had? You can't see, but your mind can know. Yes, yes, yes. My father, I know. My father's father, I know. He also, I see a picture. But beyond that, I don't see a picture. I don't have any clue. But my mind can understand it exists. He existed. My mother's mother's mother existed or not? Yes. Do I see? No. Similarly, the cause of the world, it exists. That's what the Upanishad is teaching me. Before all this world came, there was a cause. Before the Panchabhutas came, there was a cause for the Panchabhutas in an unmanifest form, in an invisible form. That is what is that is what I'm calling it as Brahman. And that nature of Brahman is changeless. Changeless means what? It is always there. Time, it is beyond time. That Brahman is beyond time. See, this is the way the intellect should think. Other than the question of Brahman, there are two other questions. The subject matter is about, now Shankaracharya is discussing the second and the third question in this paragraph. Does the wise man reach Brahman? Does the ignorant person reach Brahman? These are the two questions. What are the two questions? Does the wise person reach Brahman? Very simple, correct? Or the ignorant person reach the Brahman? To remove these doubts, the following sections are written by me. Shankaracharya is saying this. This is an introduction to the topic. We have not entered the topic. We have not entered a very big topic which is going to come now. But why do we take the topic? To understand these two questions and answers. What is the answer to this question? Let me give you. What Shankaracharya says is, if you answer the last question, that means a wise person only will merge or reach Brahman. Then the second middle question, does the ignorant person reach, is automatically answered. So there is no separate effort required to remove the doubt. It's the second question. Can you see how he is analyzing? Three questions. Does Brahman exist? Second, does the ignorant go and reach Brahman? Third, does the wise man reaches Brahman after death? Does the ignorant reach Brahman after death? Wise will merge into Brahman is the answer. Ignorant will not merge into Brahman is the answer. For a wrong question, you can't give a right answer. You have to say your question itself is wrong. There is no merging of a mithya person into a satyam adhisthana. Mithya dream does not merge into satyam waker. Ignorant or wise, you are Brahman. This is the thesis of Shankaracharya and the thesis of Upanishad. They will give you the explanation for all this in the following page, in the following slides. But the answer you should be very clear. Nobody is merging into Brahman because they are Brahman now. They were Brahman before. They will be Brahman even in future. That is the correct answer. So ignorant person does not know I am Brahman. His fear continues. His search for Brahman continues. Like you and me. For example, we don't know our nature. So we keep on saying, yeah, one day I will study. One day I will get to know the knowledge of Brahman. And then I will become fearless. Which is true to an extent. Because ignorance is still there in us. But when the knowledge comes, what is the knowledge? The knowledge is you were Brahman even before, you were consciousness, awareness. Before your intellect could understand clearly this aspect, that is the final realization. That is what the Upanishad is trying to tell us, that the seeking and the searching ends the moment you realize I am that pure existence consciousness. Figuratively say merging or not merging. One continues to search, one stop the search. These are all figurative. Figurative means what? Just to tell you that because you don't know that ignorance is still there, you are using these words about merging, not merging, searching, not searching, and so on. But what is the ultimate truth? I was, I am, and I will always be that pure consciousness is the ultimate teaching. So the wise crosses the five koshas and merges into Brahman, merges into the consciousness. Merging means stopping his search for Brahman. That is what is the silent message of the Upanishad. Shruti does not directly give the answer to the second question, but indirectly it says, come to Veda, understand your nature, your question will be dissolved. So the answer is by implication and is not a direct revelation of the answer. The question is, does Anandamaya merge into Brahman or not? Ignorant does not merge into Brahman, but will continue to look for Brahman. Suppose you and I will say, okay, my study is not yet over, but I am still searching who am I. That means we are still ignorant. Suppose you have understood the five koshas, it is not you. I'm giving you the other side. Jnani, you have become a jnani. What is a jnani? How does he think? Upanishad is very clear. The three body is not me. Gross body, subtle bodies, causal body. Causal body is what I experience in my sleep. But I exist in my sleep or not? Yes, that's Brahman. That is what is called as Brahman. It's so easy. Why are you confusing and confounding me so much? Beyond sleep state, I am there. That I is what is called as Brahman. And that I is fearless. That I is bodiless. That I does not have any support. That I cannot be expressed words. So this is the nature of Jnani. If he knows that, what happens? He has merged into Brahman means what? He has left the notion in his mind that I am an ignorant person. Now what does the person seeker thinks? I am a Jnani. I thought I was a Jiva. Jiva means what? One identified with the body or the mind. Beyond the body and mind, there is only one content, which is the spiritual content. I am now disidentified with the body mind. I am identified with my spiritual content. Therefore, I don't have any doubt. Here in this mantra, in this explanation, Shankaracharya says, whoever person becomes this Brahman in this manner, becomes means what? Knows this Brahman. It is only knowledge. Yathoktam Brahma, as revealed by the Upanishad, giving up, utsrajya, the samashti ananda, as well as the veshti purusha ananda. See, as long as I'm attached to the physical body, I will say I have got this pleasure of this dish and I have got this pleasure of going and watching a movie, music, all identified with the body. But the Upanishad is saying, drop this body, you will realize your Swarupa Ananda, which is Atma Ananda, which is Brahma Ananda. And that Ananda is non-dual. Non-dual means what? There is no second Brahmananda. There is nothing apart from that Brahmananda. These are the expressions of Atma. Therefore, it is Advaitam. That Advaitam is called as Satyam Jnanam Ananta. I am that person. I am that Atma. Whoever understands it in this way, he is called Jnani. See, this is a very important paragraph to understand whether you are a Jnani or not. Very important paragraph. It gives me a clue. If I follow this clue, then I can very easily say I am a Jnani. This paragraph is only talking about dropping the upadi. All of us, the I, that absolute I, which is my real I, which is my Satyam Jnanam Anantam I, is now appearing in this way as the Jiva, as the waker. The same waker is appearing as the dreamer. The same dreamer, when he gives up the subtle body, becomes the sleeper. And the same sleeper, when he gives up that causal body, becomes Brahman. The moment I understand that, in which state? Not in the sleep state, but in the waking state, then I am called Jnani. See, this is Shankaracharya's Bhashya. This is how he takes us to the truth directly by reasoning. Slowly, my mind travels in the way Shankaracharya wants me to see it. See, these are all Shankara Bhashya Darshanam. This is how I can get darshanam about my own nature by studying the commentary. They are very deep, but they will illumine something which nothing else can illumine. You see, when you study without the commentary, you won't get this depth. Okay. So if you're not understanding some of these areas, come back to me with a question. I will try to re-answer. I will try to give you the explanation. But slowly take your mind this type of Vedic logic. A few weeks ago, somebody asked me what is Vedic logic and what is Laukika logic. Laukika knowledge is karanam and cause and effect. You can know directly, you can see gold and ornament. That is Laukika logic. But here we are not talking about gold or ornament which can be seen. Here is Shruti logic. For the jiva, which is the body which is I can experience, there must be a cause. That cause is explained to me by the Veda. The word evam is for the purpose of bringing back to one's memory what was already discussed and concluded in the Mahavakyam. Many of you would have forgotten the Mahavakyam of Taittriya Upanishad. What is the Mahavakyam? Just to recollect, the essence behind this body is consciousness. The essence behind the Surya Bhagavan is consciousness, the Devata principle, which is shining brilliantly. My intellect also shines, but not with that power of the Surya Bhagavan. Million megawatts of energy. My body has got small intellect decimals of energy. Illumination, understanding, intellectual capacity, all that is very limited. But the essence behind, the one which is behind the my intellect, is the same Brahman or consciousness. The Chit principle is the same behind the Devata. Existence principle is the same. That existence consciousness principle does not require a support. The Surya Bhagavan and my Veshti body, mind, Surya Bhagavan's mandalam, that what we can see with our eyes, and the brightness behind that is the same essence. That is the Mahavakyam in Taittiriya Upanishad, which we did last week. Any person who has knowledge, moksha does not depend on the sthula sukshma shariram, but it depends on the knowledge of what lies behind the sukshma shariram. We talked about pratibimba manusha ananda and pratibimba hiranyagarbha ananda. One is apakarsha, another is utkarsha. One is very bright. Behind Hiranyagarbha means the Surya. Surya Bhagwan is called as Hiranyagarbha. Manushya Ananda and Surya, the Ananda of Surya is very high. Utkarsha, Apakarsha is limited. But student takes the Bimba Ananda portion by Bhaga Tyaga Lakshya. Because you come to Mahavakyam, the Guru teaches me drop the identification of the gross body, subtle body, causal body. How? I've already explained to you. If you have not understood, ask me again. I will explain to you again. The entire study of this next few sections is going to be how to drop this identification. Just wait, you will get to know. Drop this identification and hold on to what? Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Satyam Jnanam Anantvam was explained to us in the first Anuvaka. How does a Jnani grasp this knowledge? In the very first Anuvaka, Paroksha Jnanam was given to us. What do you mean by Paroksha Jnanam? Paroksha Jnanam means there is some Brahman. That Brahman is Satyam Jnanam, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. It is the Karanam. Once this is told, what is the need? I see the world and there is a Karanam. Therefore, this is a superimposition. World is a superimposition on the Karanam. Ring bangles chain is a superimposition on gold. Dream is a superimposition on Waker. Waker is a superimposition on Brahman. That Brahman is called as Satyam Jnanam Anantam. So the Mahavakya portion in the 8th Anuvaka, in the first Anuvaka, the Karanam was mentioned. And the Karyam is the world. Then in the Karyam, there is a Vyashti and Samashti. I analyze the Vyashti and Samashti, and then I say the individual body intellect and the Samashti Hiranyagarbha intellect, the Ananda behind both this is the same Brahman, is the same. That comes in the eighth Anuvaka. The first Anuvaka and the eighth Anuvaka, first Anuvaka is the introduction. Eighth Anuvaka, where it says Surya and Manushya, Ananda, the essence behind the Surya and Manushya is the same. That is mentioned in the eighth Anuvaka. So now you see the connection. See, all these notes help us to understand the Bhashya. Hundreds of pages are there, but then you need somebody to explain in this way. If somebody explains it, you can easily get it. And once your intellect really gets it, then you will find it very difficult to drop it because that happens to be your nature. Because the nature is something, yeah, once you've understood, that's it. There is nothing else. The end of Vedanta is I know I am pure consciousness. I am the spirit behind the body, mind, and the world. If anybody understands in this way, the teaching of Upanishad is over for you. It is only a revision again and again. Kathopanishad, it says in this mantra, the second chapter, it says, the self has to be realized as first existing. If you don't accept the self, you don't accept there is a higher truth, you can never ever attain moksha. Of these aspects, the real nature of the self has to be known as what merely existing becomes evident to the seek. See, the self ultimately is self evident. That means there is nothing else which is required to light up or illumine that self. And once you realize it, you will always say, I am there. That is me only. You see, the only, uh, the only bottleneck is the identification of the Atma and disidentification of the gross body, subtle body, and the causal body. That is what is going to be taken up. First, you understand Brahman Asti. Then only you will know Brahman Asmi. I am that Brahman. And the moment you know I am that pure consciousness, then only you can be called as Jnani. Mahavakyam is a very, very important portion in all the Upanishads. Taittriya Upanishad says Prajna. Vedanika Upanishad says Aham Brahmasmi. Chandogya Upanishad says Tattvamasi. Mandukya Upanishad says I am Atma Brahma. All these four sentences, every Upanishad, Mayeva Sakalam Jatam. That is the Mahavakyam in Kaivalya Upanishad. Etad Vaitad, Kathopanishad. There are 20 times around in which Etad Vaitad comes in Kathopanishad. That is what is your nature. Every Upanishad has this revelation of the higher truth. Now, in the next paragraph, Shankaracharya explains to us what happens to the intellect who understand the Mahabharata. The one who understands the message given through the Mahavakyam, what happens to him? Asman lokan pretya. That means in this context of this world, the one who can drop the desirable objects which are seen and not seen. the one who is a jnani? That is what he is trying to explain. You see, slowly he is coming to the topic of a jnani. How does he merge into Brahman? What is the methodology? What happens to his intellect? First thing what Shankaracharya says is he has no desire for enjoyment of anything in this world. Nirapeksha bhutva. There is no emotional attachment to ahamkara and mamaka. This is going to be explained. There are notes which are going to explain this portion. So a jnani is one. Now he is going, first of all, how does the jnani, what is the knowledge of the jnani? I am Brahman. What is that Brahman? It is without a support. It is without a body. It is pure consciousness, pure existence, pure bliss. Now, how does the jnani become a jnani? By dropping the desires in his mind, by dropping ahamkara and mamakara. Ahamkara is always with reference to Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Jnanamaya Kosha. All these are all identifications. Ahamkara is all this. Mamakara is all what the body possesses. See, without the body, the bank account has got no meaning. House has got no meaning. The house is for the indweller of the house, which is the body. The house is for the indweller, the body is for the indweller, which is the mind. If there's no body, external body, there'll be no mind because mind functions only when the body is there. In the sleep state, their mind may be existing, but it doesn't function. So all possessions are only with reference to the physical body. My house, my car, my bank account, my father, my mother, my sister, my son, all are with reference to the body, ahamkara. Once ahamkara, disidentification with the ahamkara goes away, then automatically mamakara is dropped. Because mamakara depends on aham. Aham depends on the notion in my mind. I am that. What Shankaracharya is trying to tell us is drop that notion from your mind. Now go to Atma and say, I am that Atma. See, this is where the final teaching helps us to disidentify with aham and mamam and identify with the spiritual content in this body. See, what I have discussed in today's session is a very, very important session. Understand, relearn this teaching, then your mind will be able to travel. We are going to go very deep now in the following sessions. In the next session, you will find another depth, another depth. In the next 4 or 5 sessions, there'll be more depth. Asmat lokatriya, in this world, drishta, adrishta, ishta, mudasya, all objects of ishtaha. Ishta means I want. Mama esha mama. This was what Arjuna said in the battlefield. I belong to the warriors. I belong to them. And those people, they belong to me. All people with whom I'm fighting, Dronacharya, all these people, they belong to me only. They only taught me how to do this warfare. And I'm supposed to go and kill them. So he is confused of aham and mama. These two words, mama esha mama. These two words describe shokha and moha. It is primarily moha. Moha means delusion. That I exist as Atma alone. That knowledge Arjuna didn't have, which is what Lord Krishna explains to me in the second chapter. You are never born. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. When Lord Krishna says that in the 20th verse of Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, what does he mean? He means the same Brahman, which is revealed in Taittriya Upanishad. Bodiless. Just now we saw bodiless. Bodiless means what? You are the spiritual content. See the connection between Bhagavad Gita and Taittiriya Upanishad. So the big chunk of world which we are attached to is called as Ishta Samudhaya. Samudaya means group, a group of desires, all per ultimately are talking about ahamkara mamata. So, with reference to the Anishta Prapancha, that means with reference to all desires, the wise person drops identification. You see, it doesn't mean that he will drop his a bank account tomorrow. Suppose you become a jnani after you do Taittiriya Upanishad with me for the next 10 sessions. You understand clearly, I am a jnani. Doesn't mean you have to drop your bank account and your house and your possessions. And no, no. Please let them be there. They are there because of some prarabdha karma. And the body is enjoying it. It will enjoy. If it is there, the body will enjoy. If it is not there, I'm not going to be emotionally attached to it. That is what makes me a jivan. Emotional attachment, once I learn through the Upanishads to drop that, that is what is called as jivan. The world consists of drishta, adrishtas. Drishta means seen, visible universe. Adrishta means invisible. What is adrishtam? Your causal body. Causal body means what? Your asset in terms of punyam. All the punyam which you have got because you have helped somebody in this birth or the previous birth. Annadanam you have done many, many times. That's punyam. Because of that punyam only you are coming to study Upanishads. You don't know that, but that is the invisible punyam. So drishta phalam, adrishta phalam, all these are in the world. We want to drop the papam, hold on to punyam. That is the struggle of a jiva in this birth. Papam also is there. Therefore, I get thoughts. Again and again, I get thoughts of desires, thoughts which disturb me. Those are the thoughts which come and give me an experience of some part, some portion of my life. The dream experience. It's an experience only for that individual. That's all. But when you come to Vedanta, you will drop the identification with your dreams and you will say, I am the light, the spiritual light. Taittiriya Upanishad tells me, drop the attachment to the subtle body, which is all dream. Asmat loka is there, not I am loka. Asmat loka pretya. That's coming in the sentence of the Upanishad. So, antara sannyasa, internal sannyasa, means dropping abhimana, the I notion. Abhimana means I notion from the entire world, which is called as antara sannyasa, inner, internal sannyasa. Aha, abhimana is the body. Once that is dropped, mamakara also will be dropped automatically. Turning the mind away from the world, not being preoccupied with my mind all the time, is when I come to know I am free. Free means what? I live, I exist, as the spiritual content consciousness. Full stop. After that, don't say I am worried, I've got that pain, this pain. That all becomes ahankara. That keeps on occupying your mind. Learn to drop the thoughts as anatma. That is called as disidentification with the subtle body. Mind coming out of your thoughts is called as disidentification. It can only come out of your thoughts by only one method, and that is by dwelling on Atma. The more I learn Taittiriya Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, I will learn about the inner content of this body, the inner content of the entire universe. Because Upanishad teaches me the inner content is the same. Mahavakya in Taittiriya says the inner content of the Manushya, whoever it may be, male, female, rich, poor, any type of any citizen of any country in the universe, whoever it may be, the moment that mind in that body learns to identify with the spiritual content of the body, it will learn to remain independent. It will learn to get detached from the mind's turbulences. Mind's turbulences are caused by vasana. Vasana means impressions, memories left over from my previous actions in this birth or previous births. Previous interactions of the mind with the sense organs and the previous world, it is still there as vasanas, but I am no longer identified with it as me. Very beautifully, Shankaracharya explains in Mandukya Upanishad. He says, if that is the mind, causal body, how do I take that mind and I still continue to live in the world? He says, Shankaracharya beautifully says, a very good tip for. I will leave you today with this tip. Learn to keep the mind as an instrument and live in the world. It is an instrument to live in the world. That's all. I use it, I drop it. I use it, I drop it. Learn to drop it, learn to use it. That way, what will happen? The memory will not disturb you. The moment the memory rises, you will say, this is memory. Let me drop it. If I start getting involved with that memory, I'll get stuck in sorrow and delusion. Choka and moha I'll be completely deluded. Let me come out of it. Why? Because I know the inner content. It exists. And I am that inner content. I am that ultimate substratum, adhishtanam for the mind in this body and for the entire universe. The substratum is the same. What is the Mahavakyam of Taittiriya Upanishad? This mantra, the 12th mantra of the 8th section, which we covered last few sessions I took for this Mahavakya mantra. 3-4 sessions. The reality in the core of man and the reality in the sun. Sun is just an example, one of the objects in creation. He who knows this on leaving the world Leaving the world means what? Disidentifying from the from the world of objects. This disidentification, once it is done, then that person is a jnani. He has understood Mahavakyam. He has understood that pure essence behind the entire universe is Brahman. In English, we say, hand over to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Before Bhagavan punishes me, hand over to Bhagavan all my ahamkara and mamakara. Suppose I say this aham and mama belongs to God. Now I have handed it over. But don't keep on saying I will hand it every day. You say once and for all, completely. This is, oh Bhagwan, you take care of this body, you take care of this mind. I have no control over this because the vasanas are not under my control. The vasanas decide my dukkham and sukham. Vasanas force me to act in the world in a particular way and get sorrow or joy. My dropping of my emotional dependence on this body mind complex and the relations which are attached to this body mind complex, that is what is called as disidentification. It is not dropping of the duty and service to the world. Serve the world, do annadana, serve whatever you can, but disidentify. Okay? Detachment is not renunciation of duty. Continue the duty and service without controllership and doership, without depending emotionally, live in the world. That is what is called as Jivan. Time is up for today. I will stop here. I will continue the talk on this very important section of Taittriya Upanishad, the Mahabhakya section, the last few portions of the second chapter. It will go on another 5, 6, maybe 8 sessions. I don't know. It's a very long section because this is the ultimate teaching. The teaching is Aham Chaitanya Swarupaha Asmi. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Okay, Manikandan has got a very deep thinking. He's a absolute expert in Vedanta. He's asking a couple of questions related to what I discussed today. The first question is, he's saying that I cannot have any control over the body's actions because they are playing the role of whatever the prarabdha vasanas are telling him to do. That's correct. See, the moment you come to Vedanta, the you start understanding that the willpower which you have is very weak. Willpower is used. It's not that I don't use my willpower the moment I come to Vedanta. In Vedanta, what we understand is this willpower is very limited. But before Vedanta, what happens is I think that I have full control over my life. That is the problem between Jnani and Ajnani. What does the Jnani say? Exactly what Manikandan has said. That everything is controlled by Ishvara. Okay. Brahman is the substratum. For that Ishvara, what is the substratum? Brahman. For the Jiva, what is the substratum? Brahman. For the Jagat, what is the substratum? Brahman. Brahman by itself cannot act or do anything. It is only Adhishthana. Like the waker is only the Adhishtanam of the dream, the entire dream world. He cannot do anything in the dream world. If you understand this very clearly, waker cannot do anything in the dream world, but waker is the Adhishthana. Similarly, the Jnani knows he is Brahman. He is the Adhishtanam of the waking world. One who has understood the dream world and the waking world, he is the person who is called as a Jnani. He is the one who understands the Adhishtanam principle very clearly, which is what Manikandan has understood. It's a great thing. Very good. Ishvara is the controller. After realizing that Brahman, we have no fear of Ishvara also. Because we don't have any control over our life. What ultimately happens is the moment you come to know the substratum is me, which is called as Brahman. See, there are we have to use what the words which are used by Upanishads. That substratum is called as Brahman, which is what is Upanishad wants me to realize. After realizing I am that Brahman, I do not have fear. When I do the transaction, do I demerge with Brahman and after the transaction is over, I merge with Brahman again? No. See, what happens is transactions are happening at a lower plane. What is the teaching? Okay, this teaching will be given in the following classes. I have not given you that teaching so far. It will come. So at the end of this next few sessions, this question will be resolved. What is the answer? The answer is transactional world is a lower order of reality. Brahman is a higher order of reality. So transactions can go on, will go on. I am not connected. The moment that I, which was thinking as the ahamkara, that I merges with Brahman right now while listening to the talk itself, he knows that I am a higher truth. Higher truth like what? Waker. Waker is the higher truth of dream world. Brahman is the higher truth of waking world. Whatever happens in the waking world, okay, let it go on. Merging, demerging from Brahman many times does not happen. You will learn this answer in the next few sessions. There is a logic which Shankaracharya will use, which will be explained in the next, I think it will come in the third or fourth sessions, but there is a logic which explains both in Mandukya and in Taittriya, this logic, you have to understand it's a very subtle logic. I'll explain to you the logic in a simple way. Try to see if you can pick up. See, today I am a jnani. I don't know who I am. So without the knowledge of Upanishad that I am Atma, I'm taking myself to be Ahamkara. Which means what? The waker has entered the dream world and that he is enjoying the dream. It is the waker only who is enjoying the dream world. But as a dreamer, he doesn't know he is the waker. He is ignorant of the waker. During the dream world also he was a waker. While being there, when the dream was going on, he was the waker. When the dream ends also, he was the waker. Same thing now you apply. I am pure Atma in which there is no body, no mind, I alone am. That is the truth discovered after I study Taittriya Bashyam. Now I am in a class. I am trying to understand waking. In the waking state, what am I doing? I'm identified with the body. And then all these questions are all coming to me as body only, as ahamkara only. So, as ahamkara, it is not that ahamkara is merging with Brahman all the time. Again, what is the teaching? I was Brahman. Upanishad doesn't say you were Brahman. It uses the present tense. Upanishad says what? You are Brahman. And you will be Brahman and you were Brahman. That means what? It was only in ignorance I thought I'm a Jiva. Jiva itself is Brahman. Once that Jiva drops the Jivatvam hood means what? I am a father, I am a mother, I am living in America, I am living in London. These are all the Jivatvam. These are all the notions. But suppose I drop these thoughts from my mind, who am I? That is what Upanishad is trying to tell us. You are not the Jiva, you are that pure consciousness. Jiva realizes was before also he was only that pure consciousness. In ignorance, he thought he was a waker. Similarly, in ignorance, that a Jiva thinks he is a dreamer and goes through the sorrow of the dream. Swami Vivekananda says, wake up, uttishtaha. Wake up from your dream, not of the dream, actual dream world. He's saying, wake up from the dream of Jagradavastha. Kathopanishad also says the same thing. Wake up from your Jagrat and discover your nature as the pure consciousness. Okay, good, very good, Manikandan. I'm happy with your deep questions. Am I clear? Yeah, Shanmugam, can you unmute all? Yeah, Manikandan, can you unmute yourself and let me know if you have understood?
Yes, Sagarji. Thank you very much. Really, excellent explanation. I cleared my mind. So thank you very much for your. Today's
Good.
teaching is today's class is very amazing. That the logics are very well explained. So it removed many of my doubts. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I mean, today's session was brilliant. It's something which is I don't know. I was able to focus and give out the essence of the teaching. Um, okay, the next question is from Venkatesh. What is there in three states of Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, mind, body, or Turiyam? What is there in the three states of Jagrat? Okay, again, a good question. What is there in the three states is two things. Number one, consciousness. That consciousness is also existence. Okay? Existence consciousness is the reality. It is always there. It never changes. It's there before Jagrat. It is there during Jagrat. It is there after Jagrat resolves into Sushupti. Continuously it is there. But so that is the first content of the three states. So never forget what is the first content. The first content is Turiyam. Turiyam is not the fourth state, but it is the non-dual state, in non-variable state in Jagrat, Swapna, and Sushupti. It is there in the body, it is there in the mind, it is called as Turiyam. Turiyam is in and through the waking, dream, and sleep, which is called as immanent, and it is beyond the waking, dream, and sleep, which is called as transcendent. So, How do I realize it? Very simple. Just close your eyes and say to yourself, I am Atma, pure consciousness, without the body, without the mind, without the universe. I exist in and through the universe of waking, dream, and sleep. I exist beyond the universe of waking, dream, and sleep. I am not with the body. I am the consciousness in which the body is appearing and disappearing. The mind is appearing and disappearing. Mind is going through some small, episodes of 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I did this, I did that. Somebody did this, somebody didn't do this. Guilty. I know joy, sorrow, guilt. All this is there in the mind. These are all small, small worlds created by the mind in delusion. In avidya, this is coming. Upanishad is teaching me I am consciousness. What is that consciousness? Invariable. Don't just understand this word. Nitya Atma. That's why in meditation on Sunday classes, I use this sentence. In meditation, in your deep subconscious mind, bring this notion, I am Nitya Atma. What is the meaning of Nitya Atma? The meaning should be very clear. I was, I am, I ever will be Atma. What is the description of Atma? Whatever I've understood from the Upanishads. That Atma has got no inside or outside. Mundaka Upanishad, second chapter, first section, second mantra. Divyo Yamurte, that verse. Brilliant verse. Gives description of Atma for my contemplation. I don't have any inside or outside. There is no inside and outside in Atma. Inside, outside is with relation to my body only. Body is inside the room. But with reference to space, everything is there in space. There is no inside, outside. Similarly, Atma is beyond space, like space. So take your attention away from the three states and go to the constant factor, which is always there. The moment I know it is Nityaha, I can then say, I am that immortal consciousness. Nitya means immortality. Immortality means fearlessness. Fear comes only because I think I am a mortal body. I mean, from this, you can evolve so many corollaries. It's a very deep question you have asked. Venkatesh, have I answered your question?
Yeah, I think I am going through in my mind to understand it better. So, will it be correct to some extent to say that it's the Turiyam which goes through these three processes of Jagrat, Swapna, and Sushupti?
Yes, yes. When you do Mandukya Upanishad, I think you're attending the Mandukya Upanishad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you study the Mandukya Upanishad, when you finish the 12th mantra, you will understand this very clearly. That it is the same Turiyam which is the waker. It is the same Turiyam which is the dreamer. It is the same Turiyam which is the sleeper. These three are the three Veshams, three costumes put by Turiyam. Upanishad teaches me to remove these three costumes and own up whatever remains as my real nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Super, very good. Anybody else has any other questions? You can unmute yourself and ask now.
I just had one follow-up question on today's class.
Yeah.
So, our primary discussion was the difference between Jnani and Ajnani with respect to fear, fearlessness.
Correct.
So the difference between a Jnani and Ajnani is it basically the quality of life they have in this world?
Yes, it is. It is due to the difference in the quality of life they have in this world, number one. Not only the quality of life, that quality of life is an external phenomena which you and I can see. But what is happening is internally the Jnani and Ajnani are poles apart. Poles apart. Totally different. You see, the software inside running through the Jnani's body and the software which is running through the Ajnani's body, the two softwares are totally different. What is the difference? Jnani software is wise. He has the knowledge of Atma. Ajnani software is he doesn't know anything about Atma. There is something called even the he doesn't have a faintest notion of Atma. He's totally identified with the physical body and running helter skelter. As per whatever the physical body goes through, he just says, that is my life. So the difference is in the content, the subtle body. The difference is in the causal body, which is more deeper. Jnani has burnt his vasanas. All his vasanas are gone, dead. Sanchita is burned. Ajnani is full of vasanas. Causal body is ruling him, completely ruling him 100%. Jnani has got zero causal body. He just says, I'm just, he has a very light mind because he has burnt his causal body. What is the causal body? Ignorance. Sanchita is nothing but an expression of ignorance. Ignorance going on, not with reference to the external Russian language, Japanese language, or whether I know how to cook or how to make vada, sambar, or rasam. No, 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 no. Ignorance is what lies beyond the mind, what lies beyond the causal body, beyond that sleep state. Is there something? There is a huge difference between the causal inner infrastructure of a jnani and an ajnani. A jnani has no fear because he has dropped. You see, this is the teaching which I'm going to teach in the next 4-5 sessions. Another 5 sessions, I'm going to teach you how to become fearless in life. Just go through the session, listen to the talk, you will have zero fear. Do you understand, Venkatesh, the difference between the two?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Good questions, Venkatesh. Anybody else has a question?
Yeah, Pranam Shekharji.
Yeah, Preeti, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I very much enjoyed today's session. It was exceptionally wonderful. I mean, all the sessions are, but today somehow the depth of the discussion and this whole, when we talk about Brahman, it really, leads us in this deep aspect. It was amazing. I really wanted to just express my gratitude for this.
Thank you.
Thank you
Preeti.
so much. Yeah.
The glory of this today's talk is nothing but glory of Shankaracharya. See, Shankaracharya's commentaries make us dwell on this topic very deeply. And in the next few sessions, next 4-5 sessions, you're going to see the end of this Taittriya Upanishad, and you will see that you have gone very deep in your spiritual personality. It is the glory of Shankaracharya in Taittriya Upanishad. It is the glory of Shankaracharya in Mandukya Upanishad, and it's the greatness of the commentary which we are running through it. And when we go through this commentary, all the doubts which are there in our mind, they get burnt, completely burnt. And then what happens? Your consciousness becomes clear. You becomes chitta shuddhi becomes 100% clear. Your chittam shuddhi happens and you are able to focus. In a focused mind, when you listen to the Taittriya Upanishad or Mandukya Upanishad, it's a cakewalk. That's all. After that, there is no more discussion. When you become a jnani, means what? Internally, you are able to have sannyasa. Not external sannyasa, internal sannyasa, antara sannyasa. It can be had by all the grihasthas. They can continue their duty, perform their duty, whatever is there in the life, it will go on. But internally, you are a changed person. You're a transformed person. That transformation is called as Jivan. That transformation is called as moksha. Next 4-5 sessions are going to be excellent in terms of the depth of Shankaracharya's commentary in Taittiriya Upanishad, because now we are coming to the end of the second chapter. This entire section is called as Upasankramati. Upasankramati means merger of Ajnani Jiva into Brahman. This is the last step in which where the Jiva drops the ignorance that he is a Jiva attached with the body. It is that Jiva, Ajnani Jiva, learns how to disidentify and merge with pure consciousness. Okay, anybody else has any other question? Yeah, Shanta, go ahead. Yeah, Shanta, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I can now.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much for this wonderful session as usual. And I really felt that, the concept of the fearlessness and how much, if you understand, would it be right to say, if you understand that, yes, even that willpower which we talk about is very limited, to get we feel we are a controller and it's with my willpower I can do this and I can do that, but actually that's a very very small aspect of us which we have got that. So my question is, when we have got this very limited willpower, and if I can just combine it with one of my questions from Bhagavad Gita, because if you allow me, and it's in chapter 13, verse 25 and 26, where Bhagwan says about you can get moksha. Some people do the dhyana moksha, some people can get achieved by Sankhya Yoga, and then others listen to that something Brahman or this is there, and they also do upasana, and they also can get moksha. That is 26th verse of 13th chapter. Now, what I understand from all what we have learned in Vedanta, that although uh, we can do all this karma yoga, oh yeah, there's another one, is of course karma yoga, all these things, but until and unless you come to Vedanta and you understand the concept of Brahman, you're not going to be Jivan Mukta or attain moksha, right? So the person who's doing karma yoga, he cannot achieve Jivan Moksha just by doing karma. Like, for example, just by going to the temple, he can't achieve moksha. Is that right to say? And
Yeah.
if that is,
Okay. good.
And the second thing which I want to ask is,
Yeah.
which is connecting it to today's talk, is if we have such limited willpower, then a person who is into the karma yoga, who says whatever karma I do, I offer it to God, or it is that's karma yoga, or when he talks about upasana yoga, where he does all these offerings and everything, how can this person, without having the willpower, because the last sentence, which on the 26th verse, where he says even tadapi, tadapi, I think is taranti, that they also get the mukti. So how is it possible then, by just that upasana, and then when we don't have the willpower, how can you get to that moksha through other means other than learning Vedanta?
Okay, good. See, I'll answer the question in the Gita way, and then I'll come back to how the Upanishad deals with it.
Mhm.
Now, in the Gita, in the 13th chapter, you are talking about verse number 25
5
and
and 26.
26.
Yeah.
But don't forget verse number 24. In 24, the real truth is given. So 24th is the ultimate truth of Vedanta, which is given, which is Jnana Yoga.
Yes, and he does say that
Yeah.
Sankhya Yoga is the most
And
superior
what
part.
is what
But
is
why
the
is it not
24th?
contradictory?
No, no, no. The 24th verse, first
Hmm.
understand clearly.
Hmm.
Ya evam veti purusham prakritim cha gunai saha
Saha. Huh.
sarvatha vartamano api
Pi?
nasa bhuyo
Bhuyo
yate.
na jayate. Yeah.
Correct. Now, what does it mean? It says that the one who knows the Purusha and Prakriti
Will not be born.
together with the
Hmm.
qualities,
Hmm.
in whatever condition he may be rich, poor, he may be living in the palace, he may be living in the hut, he may be with, in whatever condition a person is,
Hmm.
he is the person who is a jnani. That is the 24th verse, which is the ultimate truth, which the Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita wants to say. Jnana Yoga is the ultimate.
Ultimate. Yeah.
So 24th verse is about Jnana Yoga.
Hmm.
And it says, if you are a jnani,
Hmm.
who is a jnani? The one, the definition is given in the 24th verse. Who is
Yes.
a jnani? The jnani is one who knows the Purusha.
Hmm.
First is Purusha. Purusha means
Hmm.
consciousness.
Consciousness.
And the one who knows not only consciousness, but he also knows Prakriti. Prakriti means the
Matter.
power
Yeah. Hmm.
belonging to consciousness.
Hmm.
It is the Maya Shakti which belongs to consciousness.
Consciousness. Yeah.
So, what is this world? World is Maya Shakti of Brahman.
Hmm.
All the jivas are what? They are nothing but the Maya Shakti of Brahman,
Brahman.
Purusha.
Hmm.
So, this is the understanding of a jnani. So, the jnani is one who understands who is the Purusha. I am the Purusha. And what is the Prakriti? Prakriti is my Maya Shakti.
Hmm.
So, and what are the gunas of Prakriti? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas.
Rajas and
The
Tamas.
Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas rules the entire universe.
Hmm.
Means what? All the jivas in the world, they are nothing but the Prakriti in a garb of a jiva.
Hmm.
All jivas, whether it is your mother, father, sister, son, brother, daughter, whatever it is all Prakriti, 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 nothing.
Hmm.
It is Prakriti with gunas.
Yes.
Some people have got more Rajoguna, therefore they may be very active. Some people are more Sattvic, they may be very intelligent. That is the Prakriti portion. What is the Purusha portion? Purusha portion is what? Ultimately, everything Prakriti is Maya. It is Mithya. It is of a lower nature, waker, dreamer, sleeper.
Hmm.
Waker, dreamer, sleeper is the lower nature.
Yeah.
Purusha is Turiyam. It is ultimate Brahman, the cause. Now, 25th verse and the 26th verse are the Upanishad is coming to the Ajnani level. 24th verse is the highest, Jnani level.
Highest. Okay. Yeah.
Then what Upanishad says is, suppose somebody is doing meditation.
Mm.
In the 25th verse, Dhyane Atmani Pashyanti Kechidat Atmanaha Anye Sankhena Yogena Karma Yogena Chapare.
Japan.
Suppose you do Karma Yoga, suppose you do Upasana Yoga, and you are able to hold the self.
Mm.
That means what? Through Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga, you have matured and you are able to hold your consciousness clearly. So, Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga is a stepping stone. It is a supportive sadhana to come to Jnana Yoga. That is the 25th verse. 26th verse says, Anye tvemava janantah shrutvanebhya upasate tepi chantireva mrityum shruti prayanaha.
Mm.
Others who don't know this, through worship, they hear from others about Atma.
Yeah.
Just by hearing, they also cross the death and
Yes.
they have heard what is to be heard in this life. That means they have heard the truth. Atma is the ultimate. So
Yeah.
in the 25th, 26th, and 27th verse, up to 26th, what Lord Krishna is saying is, use Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga as a stepping stone. As
Okay.
a stepping stone to come to the truth.
Oh,
That is,
because I think I got confused because the last line of the 26th shloka says that they api taranti, so they also cross the
yes,
thing.
correct.
So I thought you achieve Jivan Moksha.
No,
Uh,
no. You see, they cross death means they also come to Jnana Yoga and then cross.
oh, okay.
It's not that just be hearing about Atma, that fellow will get mukti. No, 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 no.
That's what I that's what I
No,
felt
no,
that
no.
that is
No,
contradiction.
no. It is not. It is not. The way you
Okay.
solve this contradiction is they also come to Jnana Yoga and
Okay.
then cross
Then they
Mrityu.
go through this process. Okay. Now it's clear. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have question? Okay, there are no questions.
So
And
could I
yeah,
ask that my follow on, which was when you have very limited willpower,
yeah.
then how do you actually move from, or what pushes you to go
Yeah. See,
from
what
this?
happens with the limited willpower is,
Mm,
you see, the moment a jiva realizes that my will is very, very limited, that means it's
mm,
like a 10 watts bulb. And
mm,
the Ishvara's willpower is like a stadium light.
mm,
The willpower, there's such a big difference. So what will the individual jiva then do? Then the individual jiva will surrender to the Lord.
ah,
The individual jiva will say, oh Lord, my willpower is nothing. So
mm,
I will surrender my willpower to you. You take care of this body. Whatever the body has to do, let it do.
mm,
Complete surrender of the body and mind. The mind also, see, the problem is our surrender is never total. Today we say, oh, I surrender to you, and then tomorrow you take it back in the morning and say, no, 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 come on. How can I completely surrender to you? We take it back again. So that
yeah.
is what is a game which we all play. But anyway, this is part and parcel. The what we have to realize is, see, that is why the study of Mandukya Upanishad is very important. Mandukya
Mm,
Upanishad focuses on the Jagat Mithyatva. You see, Mandukya Upanishad is the only Upanishad which has got the third chapter, which says Advaitam is the truth. That means Brahman, which is Advaitam, is the truth. The second chapter says Jagat is Mithya. Prapancha Upashamam means what? Prapancha Upashamam is the entire second chapter. What does it say? It says, what is the main sentence? Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Jagan Mithyatvam is what I have to ultimately understand in order to burn my Sanchita. See, whenever I say I want to burn my Sanchita Vasanas, it means I have to disidentify with my body. The moment I'm able, my intellect disidentifies with the body, that is what is called as burning of Sanchita. That is what, and how does that come? It comes only by one method. I mean, we are going to discuss all this in very big detail in the coming talks. How this merger happens is what is the topic. In the next few sessions, how does the Jiva merge with Brahman? It's a very, very deep subject matter. It is the ultimate teaching of a Mahavakya and the ultimate knowledge given by Upanishads. There the Jiva says, I am not the Jiva. I thought I was a Jiva living in this body. Upanishad clearly tells me this Jiva notion which I have is wrong. I am actually that pure consciousness. I was that consciousness. I am that consciousness. I will be that consciousness because it is non-changing principle in this universe. What about the body? Was the body born or not? Yes, it was born.
Yes, it was
Body, with reference to body, the word, the Upanishad clearly says, don't think body is not born. Body is born. It is born out of the parents. It is born to a particular family because of certain vasanas and prarabdha karma. That is the explanation for the body, explanation of the life, explanation of why you are in this situation with reference to the body. With reference to body means jiva. But the jiva, after the Taittriya Upanishad or Mandukya Upanishad, that jiva learns to drop the ahamkara, mamakara, is one side of the coin, and the second side of the coin is the jiva learns. This is a learning process. It is an intellectual learning. The learning is, I am Atma. And that, see, these are two sides of this of the jiva. One is the one side, and the body, mind, baker, dreamer, sleeper, that is one side. I am Turiyam, I am Atma, I am Karanam Brahma. This is the second side. Now, as a seeker, I have to wear both the shoes. I have to wear the right shoe, which is talking to me. I am a jiva, I am a mother, I am a daughter. Play the role. But the jiva has to learn. That is why you come to Upanishad. Upanishad will teach you that you can learn and drop your identification and then learn to remain as. So that is what we are going to learn in the next 5-6 sessions.
Okay.
It is called as go ahead, Santa.
If I'm not going to take over your sessions of asking questions, I've got one, feeling of contradiction there, which I want to clarify. In the last Mandukya Upanishad session, we talked about Omkara, right? And Omkara is the adhishtanam of the whole Jagat. Now, when I am sort of, that has stuck in my head to the point that every time I see something or a sound, it almost feels like this is sound, okay? Which is ultimately Omkara. And now when you said that body is born out of parents and Annamaya, the food they consume. So, but then is it not that food is also sound and therefore has got substratum which is Omkara and therefore it is Brahman? Is
Yeah,
it
yeah,
right
you're
to
right.
say that?
You're right. You're right. You see, you're trying to combine Taittiriya Upanishad and
Yeah.
Mandukya Upanishad, which is a good thing. So,
Okay.
so in the following sessions,
Mm,
uh, the Upanishad is going to teach us how to do this merger.
okay.
You see, there is a process. So the Upanishad will say that the individual shariram, you have to merge with the gross prapancha. You see, this is a process. The intellect has to go through this process.
Okay.
Okay, so just wait,
Yeah.
but
So I'll
your
get to
understanding is
wait.
clear. I know what you're saying, but
Yeah.
you can merge the teaching and then you can realize. You see, when you say body, it also definitely means you're seeing something. Drishyam.
Mm,
Drishyam is mithya.
yeah.
Anything seen is mithya.
Yeah. Because
Heard,
that Lakshartha
seen.
and Vachartha. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
that made it very
Lakshyartha,
clear.
Vachartha. Apply that
Yeah.
rule, immediately you will
Yeah.
say this is Vachartha. It is not
Yeah.
Lakshyartha. Lakshyartha
Yeah.
is Brahman, it's pure
Brahman.
consciousness.
Yeah.
So the moment your intellect is able to move between Vachartha, Lakshyartha, Mithya, and Satyam,
Mm,
you are absolutely in a fast track in
okay.
Brahma Vidya because your mind is now ready. It is just jumping with joy inside. Come on, I can do
Yeah,
this,
I think, yeah, I did feel that when I last lecture, as I said, I just wanted to stop and hold that moment and rejoice that I just felt it clicked with me that Omkara, the Adhishtanam. And then it was very clear that everything is Mithya, what we are talking, because what is sound, and sound is Adhishtanam of Omkara, and Omkara is Adhishtanam for Myth. And that just sort of that step by, going backward and
See,
going to
your mind
Brahman,
has learned. You
just,
see, that's the beauty of our mind. The moment it learns Vedanta, it can
yeah.
apply and it can reach the ultimate truth. You
So
see,
it
that
is,
is,
that's the logic which I'm using.
yeah,
Is that right? Because
it's
I'm
it's
looking at
right. It's
something,
right.
yeah,
Yes,
and then I'm talking it sound and taking it
correct.
as Adhishtanam, and
Yes,
then, yeah, okay.
that's
Thank you.
correct. Right. Good.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Very good.
Feeling a
I mean,
bit better now that
uh,
I'm getting a bit more than what I
you
felt
just,
when I
you
started
just
my studies.
Yeah, no problem, Shanta. You just complete Mandukya third chapter. After that, I will tell you you can leave. That's it. You don't need the fourth chapter of Mandukya, and you will truly feel that I'm blessed because I have this knowledge. That's all. All
Yeah.
of us,
Thank you.
we feel that this knowledge has come to us because of Shankaracharya through some we don't know what is the reason. Like I said, we don't know all the reasons of our life. We don't know all the jigsaw puzzles of our life. Why, what, how it happens, we don't know. So this is the beauty of Shankaracharya's commentary. And
Yeah,
we just
I'm absolutely enjoying it. I must say, I cannot thank you enough for it because
thank you.
it has
uh,
just changed my life. Thank
Good.
you.
Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
मस्त चलो ठीक है अपन
ओ भाई ठीक है।
ठीक है चलते हैं
हाँ ठीक है, वेरी गुड, थैंक यू।
Bye. Thanks to Sexy.